Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is round 2 for the night. So thank you all for being here. And this is Indy Comics Explained, and I brought on a fantastic group of independent comic book creators. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. And one more time, let's bring on this guy, because he is allegedly the life of the party.
What's up, Daddy? This here, Dusty Road, the American Dream, Daddy. I am the son of the plumber, the son of the working man. I'm here. It's hard time, Daddy. It's hard time. Sorry, wrong show. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics. Been publishing books for over 15 years on my own. And yes, I am the life of most parties. Not all, but a lot of them. What's going on, Calderon?
You're not the bull of the woods?
The bulls aren't in woods. They're in open fields. They're ranges.
Do you know nothing about Dusty Road?
Yeah, but a bull of the woods?
Bull of the woods, Dusty Road. Come on. You don't know that part of it?
No, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Jesus. All right, let's forget that guy. Let's bring on a real creator. Shawn, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm Shawn, the Thunder from Down Under.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yeah. Oh, whoever else got to come on needs to do a wrestling voice. Let's hear it, Shawn. Let's hear it.
Oh, Jay, I don't know how I even come on after that. That's I think that's a little bit unfair. So that was the best I could come up with under pressure. So, but hey, everyone, I'm Shawn Keenan. I'm from Comics to Movies. I self-publish and run Comics to Movies, which publishes Australian comic books. We have the #1 selling comic in Australia, and we've got a brand new series up on Kickstarter at the moment as well. So looking forward to getting into it tonight.
Nice.
Cool.
Hello, I'm Duty from Uranus. So what's up, everybody? So this is Seth, the crazy man, Vera, creator of There's an Alien in My Toilet, currently on Kickstarter right now. And I'm also the host of Catch the Craze podcast. What's up?
Very nice, very nice. You look like a praying mantis for a moment.
JD. Did I do you justice?
You fucked me up. One. So, I mean, does George know you have that?
Yeah, obviously you didn't enjoy our launch party. We all had the masks on.
Oh my God. I'm not drinking enough. I'm not drinking enough. Holy shit. Bring him in. I need more.
Oh, yeah, brother. It's about time I'm back on this show. Randy Zimmerman here. Aerocomics.store. Enjoy it. How's that? Will that do for a wrestling opening?
Randy, I love it. Randy, I love it. You sound like a constipated Randy Macho Man Savage.
That's right, brother. Understand.
Brother, that's how we do it. That's
how we do it.
There you go.
Get it done.
Nice. What's up, Max?
Man.
I'm never number 2. But I am the shit.
You see what I started? You see I'm not the life. I'm the fucking life, baby. Okay.
Okay. Don't get ahead of yourself.
I am all the time.
He's way ahead of himself.
Yeah. Seriously. All right. So check it out. I got a question for you guys. Earlier this week, I saw a creator talking about retailers, and he was saying how some retailers don't want to buy independent comics that have already launched on Kickstarter, right? So my question to you guys, do you think retailers need indie comics these days to survive, right? And would they do better if they carried indie comics? Yeah. So let that one sink in. Sam, it's you. Go.
No. That's my answer. No. So we don't generate enough revenue to support the lifespan of a retailer. That's just a fact. We don't have the marketing power, the budget to reach when inconsistent with volume. So no, I don't think they'll be better off with us. I think we are like that line when you go to Marshall's and you have your shopping cart full and you get in that line and they have all those extra things on the side. That's what we are. We're the extras, right? So we're not the destination, right? When they go to Marshall's, they're looking for that fabulous find. They're looking for that Michael Kors bag, whatever it is. But when they get on that line, oh, there's a bag of popcorn. I can add that to my basket, right? So I think that's that's just my opinion.
All right, that's fair. Randy, what are you thinking?
I think Sam's about half right. There's a lot of retailers out there who can't afford to take any chances at the moment because they're literally surviving hand to mouth. So they have to carry products that they know that they're going to be able to turn around quick and get out to their customers. But on the other hand, carrying independent product, it isn't just like that bag of popcorn. It's that that can be that happy surprise that's sitting there on a shelf. Somebody comes by and goes, "What's this? There's an alien in my toilet." This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And then pick up, and all of a sudden, not only have you gained a new reader, new fan, but the retailer has got something else that he's looking out for. The problem is that these retailers have gone for so long, trained, Pavlovian almost, to not look at the indies. Don't look at the green section, carry the exclusives where the money's at. And that doesn't remotely hold true anymore because the better quality material is spread throughout. And there's crap everywhere and in the indies. And I'm not referring to Sam's book at all but just because it's an alien in his toilet.
Oh, come on, Sam.
I get the humor.
Sorry. Here, my face is getting red. Anyway, there's crappy. There are crappy books out there all the way across the board, and the retailer has to be more careful than ever. But also, the retailer has to re-educate himself and start looking at income sources and books that he can possibly carry in his store to make a good turnaround and a good buck. Because a lot of this stuff coming out of the so-called big two aren't making him any money.
Yes,
unless he's got a stray variant cover that he's able to slab and charging a crazy price for. That nobody I think there's very few readers out there actually in Marvel and DC right now. Very, very few. But there are a lot of collectors, a lot of people that are picking up these books almost like trading cards, and just to get them slabbed, just to put them up and have them look pretty, or put them in a box and hope that they double or triple in price.
Yeah. But just timing out to what you just said, Randy, there's a comic book, I think it's the Spider's Web, that just closed down, a retailer, because the Marvel and DC books, because they were trying to appease the woke crowd, that they weren't selling any of the books. And so they basically had to close down because they weren't generating enough revenue to stay operational.
Yeah, it's what I was saying. They have to educate themselves and weed out some of the crap because Marvel and DC are going to keep producing the same lack of quality books that you're seeing now. They're not going to get any better. Right. I honestly don't think so. Where you're going to find quality, where the retailers are going to find their money is in returning customers that are more readers, or that are so hardcore collectible. They're so willing to put down 100, 200 a week in order to get that one-of-a-kind item, thinking that they're going to be able to turn it around on eBay or whatever. Right. The market has literally split itself into so many different avenues. It's not even funny. And the retailer has got to stay on top of that. They've got to educate themselves and be more open-minded to carry more independent material, more accessibly reading material, Mm-hmm. I keep pushing on our shows to go and visit your retailer and dig through those boxes that are closest to the floor, because there's bound to be gems in there that you haven't seen. Old black and white Marvel magazines, stray color books from 20, 30, 40 years ago that are gems, that are incredible and incredibly done reading copies that are really enjoyable. And it's the readers out there, as well as the collectors, that the retailer has to go back and bring back into their store. Because right now they're pretty much just a collectible store. But you're seeing there are retailers out there like Dennis Barger, who's opened up here south of Detroit, who doesn't deal with Diamond, but he deals in collectible comics. He doesn't carry new books. He carries old books. He's in a mall. And he says all the time, he's got dads walking by with their kids going, hey, I wonder if they've got that Spider-Man book I read back in the 90s that I loved. And he's bringing his kids in, and he's got that book on the back wall. He's more than happy to put down modern prices for it just to have a copy of it that maybe he didn't keep or had to sell to make bills or whatever in order to relive that nostalgia. He's got more of a nostalgia store than a collectible store. And he knows he's collecting more, or he's getting more readers in, and the more readers that come in, the more they come back and start looking for more issues.
Gotcha. Shawn, what are you thinking?
Yeah, well, I'm a mix of both the two answers. So for me, I think in regards to comic book stores themselves, a lot of the ones here in Australia, the biggest issue I find is they are the exact same comic book store as they were in 1985. They stand behind a counter. They don't greet you as you walk in the door. They don't, upsell you and everything like that. And I find it really interesting that the comic industry seems to be the only industry that kind of hasn't evolved from that storefront area type of thing. Like, why don't we have, and I'm not talking about all stores, I'm just saying, the majority of them, why don't they have reader packs? So because what happens when a new reader comes in? Where do I start? And they go, oh, I don't know. Well, why don't you have reader packs, like 5 comics in a reader pack that you're selling at a reduced price and that type of stuff to get people enticed into reading comics. Like there's a lot of avenue from there that I think is missed. And I feel that flows then onto like the indie scene, as Randy was saying, is that, it's been so long where they're like, oh, don't go after indie comics. They're too much of a risk. They're all this type of stuff. When there's some absolute gems in there, Scout's doing a really good job with some of their titles. Mad Cave has some really good titles. And then you've got guys like ourselves that are coming up, I feel like, with quite a few gems out there as well. And then the third part of that is that when you build a relationship with the store, you want to get them to sell it as much as you want to sell it. So if the store wants to make money, they need to be able to sell as much as you want to say, oh, I enjoy comic books and, I've got my own store. If you want to be successful in business, you need to sell. You need to be able to move products. That's just how it is, whether you like it or not. That's if you own a store, you need to sell products. So the hardest thing I kind of get is like, I'll provide videos for social media. I'll provide images for social media and all that type of stuff. But really, all they do after I drop the comic books off at the store is go put them on the shelf and walk away. And that's not how you sell a product. It's not a Maserati. It's not like someone's going to come in and go, I want that Maserati and walk away with it. All of these things need to be sold. And I would be really interested when you talked to a store owner whether they would be able to tell you their highest selling comic in the store, what most readers read in the store, what new books are coming out that they're aiming for and trying to do it. Do they have a little thing on their front counter as an upsell comic for the week? Do they have a 1 to 10 range like you used to with CDs and DVDs? Like there's all these different options that I feel like, we're so stuck into going, oh, hey, we do all the new releases face out, all the other ones go in long boxes, and then we just expect the customer to find them. So I think there's a real big layered approach to this. I feel it comes from the retailers. then it's, partly us as creators building a relationship with store owners, and then 2, working out the best way with the retailer to be able to sell those products. Because if you are able to sell more products or help them sell more products, well, then they're more profitable. Well, then they're going to want more of your stuff. So it's really that symbiotic kind of relationship in regards to going, okay, how can we help you sell more? And then back to your original question in regards to Kickstarter and being in a store, I think that's a little bit of an excuse for retailers, because you'll have your fan base that will back you on Kickstarter, but the reason why you're getting it into a store is because you're looking for new readers. You're looking for new fans. That's the whole reason you're wanting to go into a store. If you had 100,000 fans, you don't need the stores. The whole reason why you're asking to get into a store and ask for their support and ask for their help is to gain more readers, is to gain more followers, type of thing. So, I used to do a lot of retailer reward tiers in my Kickstarters, but I just found that a lot of stores were kind of not after that. There was probably too many for the stores to kind of hold and everything. So I've stopped doing that, and then just offering them at the back end a small amount with free shipping and all that type of stuff. But I think it's a really hard question to answer, but there's levels to it.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of layers.
Hold on, Jay. I just want to put this up from Max. He says it really all depends on the comics retailers' customer base. If their customers buy indies, then stock up on indies, and if not, then not. But it's just how do you train that customer base to enjoy indies, right? But I'm sorry, Jay, I interviewed.
How do you train that? How do you train that retailer to enjoy indies?
Right.
So but the whole thing. Sorry, Jay, jump in there. But I think our whole issue is, why are we saying DC, Marvel, or indies? Shouldn't we be focusing on, this is a good story? This is a story about a cyberpunk, blah, 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 blah. This is a story about an alien in the toilet. This is a story about... We should be selling the story, not the brand. It's not it's not our... It is our job as indie creators to sell the brand, but it's not the store's job to sell the brand. No. It's the store's job to sell the story.
But Diamond's been selling... Diamond's been selling these retailers brands for like the last 30, 40 years. That's been their whole focus. Don't worry about the green section. Worry about these guys, these exclusives. That's why they throw them in the front of previews. It doesn't matter the quality of the book that they're doing, or whether or not they're actually throwing readers out the door. You still need to. You still should. Diamond keeps telling their retailers they need to focus on these companies, just these exclusives, and then if you have anything left over, then you bump into the green section.
Yeah. All right. Again, there's a lot to unpack here. First part of the question was retailers not buying anything that is part of Kickstarter, right? That was funded on Kickstarter first. Right. I feel there's a double standard there. If anybody who has applied for Diamond, one of the questions that they ask you is, was this on a crowdfunding platform before? And if so, what are you doing different for the retailer? You know what? I see somebody like Brian Pulido who's selling, 6 figures, who is also in Diamond. So there's a bit of a double standard there, right? Is it because his name is marketable? I don't know. Is it because, he's been around since the 90s on a roller coaster ride? Maybe. But another part of this is something I'm always bringing up. Before Dinesh was with Bad Idea, when he was Valiant, I remember him giving an interview, and on it, he said that 80% of the sales that Valiant received came from 18% of the stores.
Yeah.
Right.
That's out there. Okay. So, that's nothing. When I listened to an interview the other day with Patrick Browder, the owner of Challengers from Chicago, he was talking about things are shifting right now. And there was a point that whenever an image number 1 was coming out, right, talking about brands, whenever an image number 1 was coming out, it was an automatically 50 unit order for any image number 1. Now he's putting in an order, even if it's Jeff Lemire, he's not even putting in 50 units on that order for that book. And many books, there was a point where even the lower run titles, because he said he was indie friendly, he would order, if somebody had something in the pull list, he would order 5 for the shelf, right? So all he needed was one person on the pull list to order something that would bring in 5 more units, because there were customers that he did not have a relationship with, but were still regulars to the store. So they would come in. So he would have to have something for them on the shelf, because he knew there was an awareness out there. He says, because of the way things are right now, that is not even happening. If it's not on the pull list, he's not getting something just for people to walk in, because, like Randy said, right, they can't afford to do that right now. The market, the direct market, is so fragile right now, and we saw how fragile it was during the pandemic. I mean, the whole industry almost collapsed overnight, because of a monopoly for one distributor, right? Because of what Randy said, the way he trained them. Now, Randy, I think there is more of a discrepancy between the first few pages and the green section that you're talking about. You get more of a detailed explanation of what the story is about, because Shawn, you were talking about, having explained the story. You get more of a detailed explanation of what the story is about in the front than you do in the green section. Yeah. You probably get 3 sentences to 1, right?
Yeah.
And you can look at any reviews right now, and you can look at that for yourself. But the industry is changing. It is evolving right before us, and we're not even noticing it. The new readers that are coming in, the things that we want to see happen, they're not going to the shops, right? They're on Webtoons, they're on Tapas. The new readers are out there, okay? And they're buying books, but they're buying books in collections and volumes and trades. Now, we're still stuck in the old mentality of the single issue, 24-page, 32-page. I am one of the people that is guilty of that. I'm not knocking that, right? But when you look what's out there, what's making money are those volumes, those collections, right? Whether it's a trade that is an American book, excuse me, Shawn, I'm sorry, a Western style, right? Superhero book, right? Or a manga book. You can make, a retailer can make margin on a trade that they can't make on a single issue of an independent book.
Yep.
Now, there's a ton of people that are, preaching to the highest halls. Oh, I'm in this shop, I'm in this shop. Okay, awesome. I'm glad you're in shops. That's great. But are you getting paid for it? Is that consignment? Right? If it's consignment, you're not making many bucks on that. You're not, you're losing your shirt, because how many of those are you going to be able to collect on? And can you do that on a repeated basis? During the pandemic, we know these shops were making money off of their back issues, right? Randy, you talked about it. The father going into the store, right, and buying that book that he missed out or he had to sell out on the 90s.
Yeah.
Damn, how many live streams did you see with people selling books from their shop, like it was the Home Shopping Network?
Right.
And they were getting money, right? That's how they stayed alive.
Yeah.
So where did the disconnect happen? Where, okay, you're making money on selling old stock, but you're not making money on cycling new product week after week after week after week after week after week with minor margins, right? Because we always talk about, Diamond taking 60% of the share, 65% of the book. All right, well, that other 40% is going to the retailer, that 35%, right? And we're lucky if we get 40% off of that from Diamond. The market is changing right now. I don't think that shops should have to worry about us at all. Whatever. There are some shops. Look, I'm lucky that I'm in New York, and not that there's a shop in every corner, but we got some big shops out there. We got Midtown Comics, which was one of the people I picked up as a distributor when everything went down, right? I've got a store in Queens called Royal Collectibles that they make their bread and butter off of grading books. People come in with a stack of books. They run it through the system. They charge them for doing that, right? And then they run their graded books at the same time. So that for them is a big markup. And they also deal with collectibles. So anything that they can get at a pennies on the dollar that they can throw, with a markup, that's how they're surviving. And they're also a pop store. We know Funko Pops in most shops have taken up maybe about 50% of the square footage. And even that is starting to trend down, right? Because
I was going to say, you're going to see Funko Pops become the Beanie Babies of the 21st century.
Well, I don't know if there's the Beanie Babies, but the oversaturation of it.
Yep.
Right. So whereas before they were buying at such low quantities, right? The supply and demand was like this. Now the supply and demand is flipped, right? Because I mean, they're producing X amount of what they did before. So there's a surplus. So that's going to hit them at some point sooner or later. You know, other than that, I really can't speak for retailers. You know, they got a tough enough job as it is because they're depending on the fragility of direct distribution right now. When I this is something I brought up also on a previous live stream. When I was at New York Comic Con, I spoke to one of the leads from Diamond, right? And he was puffing up his chest on how when the pandemic happened, retailers were coming to him and saying that they had Spotify integrated in their store and they wanted to know what Diamond can do. He took 2 programmers and boom, he put together a Spotify integration between Diamond and local shops that, whoa, in his eyes, saved the industry during the pandemic, right? So I brought about the question, well, with new crowdfunding sites like Zoop, Crowdfunder popping up, they're eating your lunch. You're telling me, going back a second to what Patrick Breau had said, if something was on the pull list, he would order 5 more copies, right? So I brought the question up. I said, wouldn't it be easier if you have both ends of the funnel, the indie comic producer and the retailer? You're doing the crowdfunding through them, fulfillment to the stores, right?
Yeah.
So if someone wants to back a project, okay, great. It's getting shipped to their store to be on their pull list. So now if a retailer sees on their invoice, hey, this thing is coming off of a crowdfunding campaign, I never heard about it. X amount of people have got it sent to my shop. Why don't I get a few more for the pull list? Well, you know what? That was tossed to the side. Try to bring it up again with Milton Greep, right? Former owner of Capital City Distribution, and that would rush to the side. So it's like, you know, half of it is they don't want to hear it. They don't want to see the change. But then the other half is we need something new. And, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I think in that particular case, it's probably they just want like the big accounts who are going to bring in the biggest amount of money, and that's all they want to worry about, right? Because they want to worry about one big account where they can make a lot of money, right? Marvel, DC, possibly Image, possibly Dark Horse, you know, and a couple others, as opposed to having to deal with, you know, 50 independent guys who are like bringing in, you know, anywhere from small to medium-sized money.
That would be
two of the biggest crowdfunding campaigns in the last 2 years. 2 of the biggest, and not Polito, right? Was the rapper who crowdfunded the book on his own, right?
Yeah, Eric July.
Rippleverse,
Yes.
It's
The
on,
Rippleverse. All right. Over $3 million through fucking PayPal. Not even any crowdfunding platform. Okay. And then after that was the biggest taboo in answering your question, Calderon, was Ross Ritchie from Boone doing Berserker, which still ended up in the stores, right? And which had returnability. They're always talking about returnability, right? And it had returnability, and they're pulling their hair out because of all the books they had to return to begin with. You got what you wanted, and you still got fucked because you said, "Oh, it was too much work."
But did they? I don't know the full story. Did they have a lot of returns on those books? Do you know?
They were given returnability because I remember the complaints about having to do so many returns. I don't know if it went to Diamond. I don't know if it went to Boom directly. Shit, and that wasn't the only Boom book. Boom Power did a Power Ranger crowdfunder, Ranger crowdfunder, right? That made dough. It made dough, but you know what?
It made a lot of money.
Those are still in the shops. So why is it double standard with us? Now I understand. Yes, okay, right. There are. You got to kiss a lot of frogs to get a couple princes with us. No doubt about that whatsoever, right? And that is something that lies in our lap, something we got to work on. right? To show how we're different from the rest of the frogs in the pond. But it's not something we can answer right now. And I think the only people that are going to make it are those who are in a position to adapt when they see what the industry is evolving into.
We just need a younger audience coming through to start collecting comics as well. I think that
but they are, Shawn. They're on the younger audience is on webtoons. They're on Tapas, right? Because of ease of use.
Yep.
Forget about manga for a second. Because of ease of use.
Yes.
Ease of use.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They're the barrier.
The younger audience is right there. Scholastic.
Right, but that's Scholastic.
Yep.
Cat
Scholastic
Kid Comic Club.
Library in the school market.
Yes,
Okay.
they do, but they're also selling big in the box stores and big in the bookstores. Huge.
Right.
Yeah, what's the dog world or something?
Dog Man.
Dog Man. Like that is making ridiculous money. The first 7 volumes are in the top 10 of the selling graphic novels over the last 12 to 18 months. Like ridiculous amount of money. Like for us. We do single issues and everything through Kickstarter, but for our distribution, where all of our books, as you were saying, in graphic novel format, and we have book distribution, so that allows us to get into libraries, into schools, into onto places like Booktopia, the Book Depository, all those type of places to hit a wider audience, because I feel a lot of the times we limit ourselves by just saying, we need to sell to comic book people. Well, there's a lot of people out there that are not comic book people that just want to read something different and that. And I always talk about, when you talk about movies that have been turned into comic books. There's a movie, I can't even think of what it's called at the moment, but it's with Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson, and it's a love story. Marry Me. That's based on a graphic novel. How many people would know that that's based on a graphic novel? A romantic comedy, a rom-com is based on a graphic novel.
So was History of Violence. So Perdition, right? So was Men in Black. I want to get back to this for a second. $900 million. $900 fucking million.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let that sink in for a second. $900 million fucking dollars was made by webtoons last year.
Wow.
Forget about the creators not getting paid out, whatever. As a whole, it generated $900 million.
Mm-hmm.
Why are retailers not chomping at the bit to find some way to get that integrated into their stores? All right. That very person that I talked to you about, Diamond, sat on the same fucking table with the man from Webtoons that said, we made $900 million. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about saving the industry? You had the two people who could have been doing that right then and there.
Yeah. Well, and Webtoons is slowly bumping into the bookstores with bound collections.
And all right,
but it's all independent IPs, though. Everybody in every individual creator is in charge of what their book's going to look like. That causes a whole nother, set of headaches.
That title support there, and Shawn brought this up with the movies, right? So another big difference between Western movies with the Marvel, the MCU stuff, and comics, where there's no transition of the customer from the movies to the books. There is a transition of the customer from the webtoon to the books, or from an anime, whether it's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
For God's sakes, right?
But you also got to remember, it's like, where's that access point though? Because that access point is not going to be your LCSs. That access point is going to be Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, Target. Those are going to be access points for those people, because they're going to they'll turn around and just order it straight from Amazon or any of these other companies. They're not going to go to the local LCS.
Let me give you a reference point then for Amazon. Okay, a year and a half ago, The Invincible comic book was an animated series that ran for
Correct,
6
yeah.
weeks on Amazon. Okay.
Mhm.
In those 6 weeks, Kirkman sold 100,000 units on Amazon alone.
Yeah.
At an average of $12,
Mhm.
right? Because some are
Well,
more, some are less.
Well,
At an
he has
average
those
of
damn
$12.
omnibuses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But he sold 100,000 graphic novels. So on that average of $12, he made $1.2 million in 6 weeks through Amazon sales from a show that was supporting the book on the same platform.
That's right. But I walked into my local comic book store during that same period. Was there a display? Was there a sign saying "as seen on Amazon"? No.
Right. No.
So this is where I come back to, like, there's a little bit of fault on all sides. Going, know what's coming out and market towards it. You guys are the ones that need to sell this stuff. So
Yes.
go, Randy.
And I was going to say those people, the people that at Marvel and at DC that market those books, the people that talk to the bookstores, the people that coordinate their reprints and their publishing efforts, those were the people that were let go in the first 2 rounds of layoffs.
Yes.
They're no longer up there because Disney and Warner does not care about physical publishing. They don't. It makes them too little money for them to sweat over or to bother to look at when that's really the foundation of the majority of their brands that is from those readers from 10, 20, 30 years ago.
But also senior management at those same companies. And when I say senior management, I mean senior management of Marvel printing Marvel. Like, those guys, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about sales either.
No, they don't. The big Marvel's big adventure into bookstores now is 2 avenues. They have Penguin, who's done 3 reprint collections that are amazing, hardback, beautifully done, high end. Just great. Captain America, Spider-Man, Black Panther. I haven't seen another one since then. And the way that they think that they're reaching the youth audience, and I had to find this out from somebody on Facebook, they actually are reprinting the masterwork books that have 10 volumes of the early comics, the Ditko Spider-Mans, the Kirby Hulk, the real early Iron Man. And they're putting them out in smaller format, about this size, and sticking them in the YA sections at Barnes and Nobles, hoping that somebody's going to see them someday and pick them up. No advertising, no promotion, no nothing. Just here's these books. First 10 issues of Spider-Man, second 10 issues of Spider-Man, first and second 10 issues of Fantastic Four. Just stick them in there with Dog Man, and somebody will find them eventually. Yeah. It's just it saddens me to see that kind of stuff happen, because a lot of that material is, some kid out there could find the first 10, 20 episodes of Doctor Strange and literally have their mind blown and turn into a comic fan overnight. The old Ditko material with Dormammu and where he first meets Clea and all of that stuff that's been reprinted over and over again, except for within the last 20 years. Because they don't want to do that for whatever reason. There is a Doctor Strange Masterworks book out that's this size, only it's in paperback. It's not in hardback. It's $15. It sits in your YA in a small little corner in between the last Ms. Marvel collection and the Miles Morales collection.
Yeah. And
they hope somebody will read it someday, or some dad or mom will find it and go, I remember that character when I was a kid. I'll buy that for my kid because I know it's safe.
Yeah. But as far as going back to us with independent comics, I asked this question last weekend. Would it be better for us to move back to black and white books, kind of like manga, shrinking the size of the books and producing thicker volumes and trying to cater to that market?
I think I'm sorry to take over all your conversation here, and I don't mean to. I think you're going to see the market, especially the independent guys. It's going to take some money. It's going to take some investment, and it needs an investment, desperately needs an investment. You're going to see it go in 2 directions, both of those directions. You're going to see beautifully done, color, slick collections sitting out there for $20, $19 or whatever. And the more discreet folks are going to catch on what manga is doing and jump down to those black and white paperback books in a smaller size format that are convenient. Five and Below is a chain out there now that has that they have a huge, well, maybe not huge. They have a couple of bookcases dedicated to manga that Viz or one of the other manga publishers are out there printing incredibly, paperback book size, old style paperback book size, or anime size, I guess they would call them, black and white reprint books, 5 and below. They're $5 a book.
Yep.
And it's got like 120 to 150 pages sitting at 5 and below, beautifully displayed. Right. Yep. Not as small as what we would consider digest size, a little bigger than a standard Reader's Digest. About anime size.
All right, Randy, you brought this up five different times when you said 5 below, right? And you know why it's succeeding in 5 below?
It says 5 and below.
Right. No. Yeah. You know why?
It's $5. Yeah.
Right. So the financial barrier to entry has been minimized for a ton of content. Right. Yeah. And that's one of the things they got going for them.
It's got to be accessible. That's the whole key.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. How many 5 belows out there? How many 5 belows are out there in the States?
I haven't looked.
There's close to.
We probably need to look, but we need to build up some content first.
1,600 or 16,000?
Probably 1,600 more than likely.
Yeah. All right. And I
know we've got one here in Flint, so if we got one in Flint, they got to be everywhere.
But it's so
pretty close to it. So
at 1,600, imagine if you sold 5 units into every store.
Yes.
Right.
Of reprinted content that you've already had. The
inexpensive newsprint.
You need to have the content. How many people are here with, I got 1 or 2 books. I'm not fucking making it.
We got printers.
Get out.
We got printers here in the States that could print on large web press with newsprint that could make that book. You don't have to send it overseas and worry about, it being shipped or whatever from some other country. Plus, I've run across a couple of people lately that are starting to put together newspapers. There's a guy up in Gaylord. There's another guy down here in Detroit that are talking about putting together no staples on the spine, fold out tabloid sized newspapers that are comics materials. Both of them want to go subscription so that they just mail it. They wrap it up. They put a little sticker in the center. They put a mail address on it wherever, and they ship it out to the mailboxes filled with comics, comic strips, advertising, whatever. Yeah. That I think you're going to see, hopefully, I hope at least you're going to see comics split like that. You're going to see a collectibles market, a collectibles readers market who want to read the slick paper, the slick color books. Absolutely. Collections. But you're going to find a couple of guys, a couple of publishers that are going to come out with an accessible format that are going to revolutionize comics.
I think that's turning the clock back, Randy.
And I think it's coming real fast.
I think that's turning the clock back, bro.
Sometimes the clock has to be turned back. Look at the vinyl records. Mark.
Okay. Yep. But look at
and you want
8-tracks, look at 8-tracks, tapes, DVDs, CDs.
8-tracks, absolutely. But cassettes are raging back, buddy.
Yeah, don't say nothing bad about CDs. I still have my collection there.
And CDs are starting to become incredibly collectible again because folks are finding out that they want it physical more than they want it digital.
Exactly.
So that way they get to hold it in their hands. The kids get to throw this around and stick it on their bookshelf. It's durable.
We've beaten this subject. So
sorry,
Jay, what's your?
No,
what's
we haven't beaten this subject.
Well, no, we're beating it up.
Tackle. No, we're not. We're not trying to. If anybody thinks that we're trying to beat it up, I don't think so. I think we're trying to figure it out. I think we're trying to reverse engineer it to find out what is working and what can we apply to what we're doing, right? At a level that it's financially accessible.
It's Barb the Last Berserker. I found this at Sam's Club.
Okay. Yeah. How much is that?
I think it's got $14.99 as the cover price, but Sam's had it marked down to $10, $9.99.
But what is it? Did that go through Scholastic or did that go through?
No,
Penguin?
It's a Simon and Schuster.
There you go, bro. Yeah. Simon and Schuster. Simon and Schuster's not knocking on my door.
Well, are you knocking on theirs?
Yeah, but they are doing graphic novels.
Yeah, I am.
They are doing graphic novel.
Yeah.
Have you? I don't believe you. Not for a second.
Because you have to go through a literary agent.
Yeah.
And trying to get a literary agent to accept you is the key. And that is it's the same. It's the same as a comic shop.
Okay, hold on.
Very similar to Penguin Random House. They need a literary agent as well. So that's the difference in trying to get that book publishing. Because as I said, with our graphic novels, we've got one here in Australia, which is great. You know, we're in Australia, New Zealand, and a couple of the Asian countries. But to get into the US market, for us here in Australia, is extremely difficult. And then the whole other flip side of issues for us comes over being able to do quality control and everything like that. Because if I print it here, I can look at it, I can see it, blah, blah. But it's not worth me printing it here if I have to ship it all over to the US. So there's the comic industry is really interesting. There's so many levels and layers to it. You know, I haven't been to, I know there's a really big or there used to be a really big forum in the US in regards to the distribution side. I used to be in Vegas, I believe, or whatever. I don't know if it's been on for the last few years because of COVID, but it would be really interesting to kind of sit down and be a fly on the wall in that kind of scenario and see like this type of conversation, how that's happened within that environment. Because, you know, as I said, I love my local comic book store, but I know the owner has no willingness to change what he's been doing for the last 10 to 15 years. And, you know, it's kind of hard to, and as you were saying before, Randy, it'll take some investment, but I'm surprised that someone hasn't come along and gone, I tell you what, I can make a chain out of this, move it into malls rather than in your back alley type thing.
Yep.
And I'm going to focus on X, Y, Z. And as I said, do all of those things that I said, do reader packs, do graphic novels, do, your pull lists and everything like that, and sell to a mass market rather than just going, we're still back in the dark ages where we go into an alley where the comic books underneath the all the other stores, and we filter through everything to find what we're after type of thing. So
I got a couple of things. So to answer your question, as far as the stores putting out stuff, what Jay had said was we have Midtown Comics here. And what they do is whenever a new movie comes out, they put out a section right in the front of the store where it says like they'll have like a bunch of books that feature that movie with that stuff.
That's in Times Square, isn't it?
They have like four. That's one of them. But they have,
one.
Yeah. They have like 3 or 4 locations. What's this?
That's an inventive retailer who wants to sell books and make money.
This is also the reason why they are one of the largest buyers of comic books in the country. Mm-hmm. Like those 4 or 5 shops and their online presence, I believe they're like 3 or 4% of the market.
Okay.
Have you seen their email list? So you flow on with that. Those guys are amazing in regards to doing not only your normal pool list and everything like that on their website, but they've got, we've gotten this collection in and highlight a collection. As you said, a movie comes out, they're like, here's all the different, collected series based on that storyline. I've signed up to their email list, and they're very clever. They email twice, 3 times a week, maybe even more. There's all these things that kind of go into it, and I think we're just a small part of it. And going all the way back to the original question is, I think the biggest thing to be able to get into stores as well is having something completed, and that's not just a single issue. I think sometimes we want to do that 50-story arc, but it might be better to go into a store with a 3-issue mini-series saying, here is a completed series that you can sell in your store, blah, 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 rather than just going, here's number one. Because I know in Australia, there's heaps of number ones.
Right.
There's about half number twos, and then about 2% that have a number three.
Right. Yeah. We used to play that game. We used to play that game at comic conventions in the 90s. We would see a group of guys all with number ones, and we would go and buy one. We say, let's see who shows up next year.
Right.
Very few of those guys.
I'd get pissed off. I'm like, I can't believe they're spending money on that Jay Breau over there when he's not going to be back next year. But
right. Well, hold on. Let me actually, Jay, hold on to your thought. I just want to read a couple of these. All right. I'll start with this one. Sam Nice Hat, Superman is the GOAT. Timothy says, let's band together as creators and start a new retail emporium. Tom Hutchinson, what's up, Tom? Comic stores are shifting their buying habits because of cheaper products. Alterna has been doing that for years and not really any sort of dent. Also, there's a small portion of retailers that even consider carrying indie books of any kind. This is true. Yes, Timothy, let's go. Indie Comic Con should happen next around the globe. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jay. Go for yours.
No. It's like I'd like to really know how many retailers, how many comic shops have opened up a location with an actual retail background, or somebody's like, oh, I got a couple bucks, let's make a go of it. Oh, I've got a collection, let me get through this. How many of them still, oh, these are my books, they get first pick off of the back. I come from a retail background. Okay, supermarkets deal with more than one vendor. Okay, they have personnel that deal with ordering in different departments, and that's another thing. Comic shops have how many departments, right? Comics, maybe toys,
maybe role-playing games.
Right?
Games.
So what else are they doing to bring people in, right? As a specialty shop.
Yep.
But again, I'm not trying to knock a comic book shop. I know how hard it is for them. I do. And this leads into my question for the night, right? You touched on it a second ago, Shawn, when you said, and Calderon, when you said, there's a ton of number ones, half of number twos, all right, trickle down amount of number threes. You know what? The opposite holds true for crowdfunded books, where there is a heap of number ones, right? And then when you get to number two, you're going to sell another heap of number ones. And then when you get to number three, you're going to sell a heap of number ones, number twos, and number threes. So my question is, as an indie creator, why are people still trying to chase access to the direct market when they can generate higher margins, right? And a longer life cycle of creativity when they go DTC, direct to crowdfunding, not direct to consumer, right? It's direct to crowdfunding. So why are people still chasing the old ways?
Well, I'll jump in straight away because I actually touched with this with JD before the show started. And I reckon in the last 6 months, it's been harder on the crowdfunding market.
Really?
We're becoming, a little bit, I feel, oversaturated again. This is coming from someone, I've ran 25 Kickstarters. My highest Kickstarter raised $27,000. So, I feel like I'm getting to a little bit of a point as well where I'm counting on the same people. Like, I've got my super fans and they'll always back me and they'll back me no matter what. But I have found that those, $1,000, $2,000 rewards haven't become as popular. Like, I've got those, still those super fans, but they're doing the $45 one, the $70 one, those type of things. So for me, that's one thing I've kind of noticed about my fan base, especially the more projects I run. When you're running like 6 Kickstarters in a year, there's a lot of marketing that goes into that, hitting that same audience. So for me, it's about expanding that market. Now, is that into stores and distribution in that way? Or should I be focusing that money that I'm paying to do that on online advertising and that type of stuff. So that's where I'm at the moment, trying to work out what is going to get me from where I am to that next next level. And I don't have the answer yet. So
okay. And that's fair. I'm not saying there is a right or wrong answer. I just, I want to know what's in people's heads right now.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Randy, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Sam's hardly said anything this whole show.
You guys are very passionate.
Sam's like, screw that, buy my duty.
You were so much more confident when you had the mask on, Sam. Come on,
yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? It's it's for me. It's when I decide to go brick and mortar, it's going to be with the graphic novel. It's not going to be with the floppies. And also all depends on when I start talking to distributors. It's not going to be until the run is done. So I want the 12 issues to be completely done before I start talking to a distributor. Because now if they say we want the floppy and the graphic novel, at least I have a year's worth of content and then the books. So for me, it's like I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Right now, I'm just in the creative mode and promoting my Kickstarter.
Cool. Fair enough. Now, Randy.
There you go.
We're kind of at a crossroads. It's Shawn's touched on it 100%. Folks are going to have to go out there and they're going to have to try things. They're going to have to invest in things. They're going to have to go out and fail in things. But quite honestly, comics needs to be reinvented. It usually needs to be reinvented every 10, 20 years anyway. And it's desperately in need of that again. But the real creativity right now, anybody can see, is in the independents. It's in those crowdfunders. It's in the quality of the work that's there, because there's some phenomenal work on individual, beautiful work coming out from the indie market. Whether that crowdfunding is going to evolve, we're seeing more crowdfunding platforms open up. Luke Stone is really trying to open up fundmycomic.com in order for people to have an open forum for comic crowdfunding, so that we don't have to worry about the next scientific device or whatever being over promoted on the larger platforms, or the next sci-fi book or whatever, where everybody gets an equal amount of promotion and an equal amount of eyes on it. It's just a matter of marketing, and it's all going to be a learning experience. We're literally in the Wild West when it comes to crowdfunding. There's people out there that have blazed some great trails, and there's some trails that end up like the Donner Pass, and other trails that lead you to the big cities. And we're all just going to have to figure out how that's going to work, and then take off in that direction. But there's so many other directions that we need to start looking at as well. Like I said, we need to be more accessible. We need to start looking at the YA market. We need to understand why the manga market, and I mean, as publishers, as creators, why that manga market is as strong as it is. And it's not because of the way the books are printed. It's not because of the icons or the language or even the IPs. It's the level of entertainment and the creativity that keeps the kids there. It keeps them and the fans there, not just kids, but the fans there reading and coming back. We have to figure out as independent creators how that's going to work for us, and how we can do an entertaining product and market it out in front of that enough eyes. I don't think crowdfunding is the only answer. I don't think Amazon's the only answer. I don't think Webtoons is the only answer. But if you go back and you look at comics history, which JD knows I'm a big fan of, you see that there were times that comics were everywhere. Comics were available daily in the newspaper. They were on the newsstands for a dime. There was bodegas devoted entire huge sections to comics. There were also millions of comics being sold. I read somewhere just recently, back in the 40s, 1 out of every 3 periodicals that were sold in the 40s was a comic book. Let that sink in, because back then, that was before television started up. That was as newspapers were raging. 1 out of every 3 periodicals was a comic book.
Well,
you know, and we need to get back to that again. We need to get that accessibility. If that means that we print a lot of chick publications and start leaving them at gas stations with different properties or IPs in them, that's what we need to do. You know, the comics were wrapped up in bubble gum. Comics used to be available in those little plastic bubbles as you walk out of any store. You just turn a quarter and get a little tinky dinky comic.
Oh yeah.
Right,
Remember that? They were everywhere, and there needs to be a lot more of that experimentation.
Randy, hold on, Randy.
The last 30, 40 years, we've been stuck in this format, and we're as Pavlovian as those retailers are.
Yes.
We have to fit into a bag. We have to fit into a board. We have to be able to be slabbed. We don't.
No.
We just need to be read and collect.
You know, as a historian, right? The biggest casualty of the distributor wars was newsstand distribution, because once Diamond said, "Hey, I got the whole kit caboodle," right? I don't need to focus on that because I'm making all my money over here.
Well, there was a lot of stuff that was neglected when Diamond became the main, castrator of the market.
But see, but newsstand distribution, right? Because the retailer said, "Oh my God, I don't want, you got to focus on us. You got to focus on us."
Yeah.
Right? Well, shit, you just cut off accessibility to almost the entirety of the nation.
And now we've had like 3 generations that have gone with that cutoff. That's why video games are as big as they are. That's why streaming is as big as it is, and that's why comics the sales in comics are dropping like a stone.
Well, the thing is, though, is hold on to go in the exact opposite direction of the selling through retailers. I mean, through the distribution circuit that you're talking about, Rosario, is that the problem is that it's highly corrupt. And that's one of the reasons there have been interviews with Jim Shooter, and he says he wanted to find a way out because the accounting for those companies is very difficult to get and to be done. It's a very corrupt system. You can hear Peter Simeti when he talks about it with Alterna. He stated he was like, these guys, he's like, he would ship them 20 books and he would get back 25 scan backs. So that, so they're trying to collect back on 25, but he only shipped 20 to them. So it's like, it's one of these things. It's a very corrupt system. It's just not set up correctly. And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people don't use it. Now, conversely, I forgot the guy's name. I think it was like Manga White or Manga Black or something, but there's a guy out there, right? He does not go through the LCSs. He doesn't do Kickstarter or Indiegogo or anything like that. He has his own web channel, and he produces his own American style manga comics, and he only sells through Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. His books are in Walmart, so on and so forth. Never heard of this guy, but he's selling tons of books. And when I say tons of books, I believe it's in the tens of thousands. Yeah. He's making a living. This is what he does for a living. So I mean, are we just going about it the wrong way? Right? Hold on, and before anybody gets to that, let me bring up somebody.
That's big here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Retail stores could put eyes on the product, but you won't make any money being in there. It's marketing expenses to drive people back to sell direct to them, crowdfunding, etc. John says, besides Kickstarter, set up an online shop and produce a YouTube series where you give free value to your viewers and then direct them to the shop to support you. Yeah, we're here, John. This is what we're doing. The key is that you need to attract supporters to your work. Yes.
Yeah.
Zenphonic says manga and waksu have always been outside the norms of standard, and it's wuxia. Okay, wuxia. All right. And it's presented differently because it's how they express themselves, thoughts, and feelings from their own cultures. And then John adds, there is no way I can afford to print books in quantities that allow me to make a profit, getting 40% back on the cover price.
Yep.
I was like, but here's the funny thing, though, is there are systems that are being worked and put in place where you can just POD them, right? You'll make less money. You'll make only like 20% per issue. But now going through, I think, is Lightning Source, people can order your books directly from Barnes and Nobles to Lightning Source, and Lightning Source will print out a book and ship it to them. Again, you make a limited amount of money, probably about 20%, but it's a tough system. Yeah, if you're lucky, right?
You're lucky, right?
But also it depends on the price point you set on the book too.
All right, so this is something I want to touch on, something what Tom brought up. if you want to bring that back up for a second, right?
Yeah.
Retail stores can put eyes on the product, but you won't make any money being in there. It's a marketing expense to drive people back to you to sell them to their crowdfunding. Yes. So, in business terms, that's called top of the funnel, right?
Mhm.
So that's where you get the most amount of people to have eyes on the product. And how do you lead them back down to the funnel, the bottom, which is getting your product directly from you? We all have friends who are in shops right now. Okay, that God bless them. God bless them. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It is. I guarantee you, if you speak to any of these people and say, "Hey, listen, I want to buy advertising space in your book," I'm sure they'd be down for it, right? And that goes back to being at the top of the funnel, because now if they're in the store, somebody buys their book, it'll trickle down, right? Because that's what advertising is, right? It's an impression, right? Trickle down the funnel to find out about your product. And now you're helping them shave a little bit off their printing expenses. I'm sure we can reach out to anyone who's up there right now. Yeah, sure, I'll sell you a page. Shit, some of them, because you're good in the pocket with them, we'll give it to you for free. But why do that if you can help them out, knowing that they're going to help you out?
Yeah, see, we've got an amazing printer here, and we have their logo printed on the inside of each of our comic books, and said printed by Comic Books on Demand. And by doing that, they give us a discount on all of our printing.
Yeah.
So there are. You just need to have those conversations, and this is where we go back, as you said, Jay. Like, I come from a retail and hospitality background, so for me, that would you like fries with that? That is a norm, and something that's been ingrained to me since I was 14 and 9 months and started working. That add-on type of thing, just asking that question. Hey, do you want something else with that? Type of thing. So. I just think if you've got a good relationship with the people that you're dealing with, that goes not only with the creation side, but in the printing and that side, then you can kind of ask those type of questions in regards to going, hey, if I print X amount with you for the whole year, if I do certain amount of comics, can I get a cheaper price on all of my printing rather than doing it all in one go? Can that be split over the year? So there's all these different kind of options. Look, as you said before, it's about I think you're saying it, Randy, it's about trying things and failing and everything like that, and then kind of working out what works. I tell everyone this: I printed 5,000 comics of my first
That's
issue.
my man right there.
I was so naive about how many I was going to sell. Now, I've sold 3,221 of those 5,000 comics, but it's taken me 7 years.
At least you're in the black on it.
Look, for me, like I could say, oh, that was really silly. What a waste of money, blah, blah. But it's been really good for me because now that it only costs me 99 cents to print those, I can sell them for $1. I can give them away as a sample. Like, I use it for a bunch of different things now. For stores, I use that as the here's a free comic to go with your standing order, and I give them to the stores to then give away to people and then come back and get money that way. So as much as I'll tell people don't print 5,000 copies, there are some ways to make a win out of a little bit of a fail.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell fucking yeah, Shawn.
Well, Shawn, I know your time is tight, so I wanted to pull up your campaign, so we hopefully let everybody know that it's here. So talk to me. What's your story about?
Yeah, awesome. So Night is a brand new series that we've created with an actor called Martin Copping. So he's out of Zombie Hunter and also out of Call of Duty Vanguard. So which is kind of cool. His likeness is the main character here, but Night's set in like a steampunk type world where there's only 4 hours of light a day. All of the animals have turned into apex predators, and the humans are the ones that are getting hunted. So this first issue or graphic novel follows Hunter, who's the main guy in the series, and he's going after some kids that have gotten lost. And he's got to kind of bring them back before all these apex predators eat them. So it's a little bit of a horror slash steampunk type series. So I'm really enjoying it. It's something very different. I mainly focus on historical stories, so this is totally outside my wheelhouse. And the writer SK or Stephen K has been amazing on this. I've done a lot of series with him. So so we're only 500 Australian dollars off making our target. So it's been a little bit of a tough slog over the Christmas period, but we've got about 11 days left with $500 to make. So yeah.
No, that's cool. I mean, I don't think you'll have any problem making that. And the book looks really good, man.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Thank you very much, man.
Do you want me to play the video?
Yeah, you can. It's just a short little video. It's nothing too fancy.
Gotcha. Hold on.
The night is over. Beast. G'day everyone, Martin Copping here. Now, I love comics. I think they are a fantastic medium. They're somewhere in between a novel and a movie, and we all know that I love movies. I'm incredibly happy to be collaborating with a wonderful company called Comics to Movies on a project that we've titled Night. Now, that's Night with a K. Night is a horror fantasy adventure where there's more darkness than day, and nocturnal creatures have evolved to become the apex predators. I love this story. We're all super passionate about sharing it with you, and I really hope you can check it out.
There you go. That's it.
Right,
So
cool.
there's even things that I've learned now. Like for me, I'd be like, I probably would have put that at the start of the video rather than at the end of the video to kind of get people a little bit more enticed and that. So it's all a learning experience, but yeah.
All right, nice. I mean, listen, you got another 11 days. Like I said, I don't think you're gonna have a problem meeting your goal. So
You're coming out of the valley.
yes.
Yeah, I know. I tell you what, I said before, like I've done about 25 Kickstarters, but I always get super nervous. I'm always like, is this gonna be the one that doesn't fun? Is this the one where I'm like, you're a fraud, you know, type of thing? But yeah, as I said, we've got an amazing bunch of backers. You know, as I said, it's always a bit of a harder sell when it's a brand new series. Like trying to, you know, get people onto something brand new that you're doing. But you know, it's really something different, completely different to what I've done before. And yeah, look forward to kind of getting this funded over the next few days so that I can go into the final week and just have a bit of fun with it. So
All right, cool. I mean, listen, I put all the links in the show notes, so you can just hit those links and go buy yourself a book, you know, or a PDF. You're selling PDFs, right?
So PDFs, books. The best thing is all the prices are in Australian dollars. So it's about 30% cheaper for you guys in the US. So so I think like the PDF is about $5 US, and the graphic novel works out to be about 25 US. So which is pretty good. So
what are conventions like out there, Shawn?
So it's funny that you're going to say that, because I feel like when I first started, they were comic book conventions, and very much now they are pop culture conventions. They are no longer comic conventions, and you can definitely tell the difference, because, you know, when I first started, you would have that person that was my age, say, you know, early 30s to I'm now 40, but you know, when I first started doing conventions, coming in, and they were spending that $300 to $400 on different comic books and stuff like that. Where now you've got a younger audience that wants to, and I'm nothing against cosplay, but it's more about dressing up, having a day out with your friends and taking photos, than it is really about kind of comics and everything. So, you know, it's quite interesting. You know, we've only got 23 million people in all of Australia. You know, you've got more than that in just New York. So it's quite interesting when we have a convention in every single state, and some states have multiple conventions, that it feels like it's starting to be a little bit oversaturated. And for someone like myself, I was doing absolutely everything. So I was doing about 26 conventions a year. I was away every second weekend. With kids, my wife was not too happy about me being away that much, but you know, she's been pretty supportive. But you know, it's what I was finding was I was starting to get people going, "Oh, I'll pick that up from you next time. I'll see you at the next one." So for me, moving forward, like, I'm going to be a lot more selective about which shows I do and everything. And again, it's all about, like what Randy was saying, trialing things. And for me, it's about making myself now exclusive. So I'm like, I'm only doing this show. You can only pick the stuff up from me signed at this show. You know, all those type of things, rather than being a convention hall where I'm like, yeah, I'm here, I'm easy, just take me wherever you want me, like, type of thing. So yeah, but I loved it. I think having 2 years off over COVID, I'm in Melbourne, Australia, so we were the most shut down city in the world. So we were shut down for almost 7 months in a row there at one stage, so we couldn't, you know, literally even go outside other than for a walk and everything. And we could only go 2 kilometers, which I think is 2.2 miles from our home and everything like that. So having missed all of that for a couple of years, last year was really nice to kind of get back into the swing of things. But the main reason why I have to run is I've got a 6-month old, so a brand new little girl, Daisy. So
God bless.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, and I've taken the jump. So I finished up work on Thursday. I'm gonna be a stay-at-home dad and ridiculously try this comic book thing full time. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
No, don't. What are you doing?
No, absolutely not, Shawn. Best of luck. Keep
Hell
at
yeah,
it.
brother. Hell yeah, man.
And stay in touch. We need to know how you do it.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. But if you want to find me, I'm Comics to Movies on any of the platforms: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat. You know, what's the other one? OnlyFans. Patreon.
That's why he's staying home.
No, I'm going red.
You rip off that shirt.
Now you're red, yeah.
Yeah, but thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it, and this has been a really good conversation. It's got me even thinking about what I'm doing moving forward and how I can kind of talk to stores and approach stores and be a lot more collaborative with them. You know, I find that I've even been probably a little bit slack in going, here's my comics and walking away and kind of forgetting about them. So yeah.
No, cool. Thank you, Shawn. You're always welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right. And as Shawn steps out, we have an alien in my toilet stepping in.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Now, Sam, before you start, do you want me to play the video?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
On behalf of the people of Uranus, we'd like to thank you. You have proven your trust. You have proven your loyalty. And over again, you continue to allow my boy to play and have a successful Kickstarter. So thank you for making this one just as successful. But it's only the beginning. We ask one thing of you and one thing only. Go out into the world and let all the other humans know that Duty is here to stay, my young Duty. And let's make this Kickstarter even more successful. Let's bring in the chowder. That is all. That is all. Don't get used to my kindness.
Yo, what kind of pictures do you have of George to have him to be dressed up in that costume, bro? You're safe, kid.
Look, the Emperor traveled a long ways to deliver that message. I'm just saying.
Now, how many shrooms did you have to take to ingest to create that video? I mean, I'm just curious,
Holy shit, Sam, you are winning tonight, bro. Let me tell you. Tonight, bro. You got me going, bro. Shit.
Yes. So
Yeah, gotcha.
So that's Duty's father. That's Duty's father. He's the Emperor of Uranus, and he just wanted to deliver that message. Yes, this is book 4. Gotcha. And the comedy continues with Duty and Herman, the Chihuahua, who thinks Duty's a talking jalapeno, and he wants to get him. And and the owners think that Herman's losing his mind. They keep putting him in a cage, and he knows that there's this alien in the house. But not only that, the Emperor just realized, hey, where's my son? So he calls for a General Goatee. He's like, hey, he's been in your care. What happened to my boy? So now General Goatee has to go and find Duty. And so not only that, but the government, the special agent Doe is hot on Duty's trail. So all worlds are coming in on Duty. Bobby, the little boy in the house, thinks he saw an alien in the toilet. And, so there's a whole lot of stuff going on in this issue. And Duty has to figure out a way. Right there, he's taunting Herman, shooting spitballs at him. So it's the fun just gets better with this one.
Nice.
All right, cool. So I mean, how many more issues? I mean, is this a limited series? How many more issues are you looking before?
He said 12.
It says, there's an alien in my toilet. The title is The Punchline, and and that's at issue 12, right? And so then after that, it goes on to just Duty. And he continues on with different adventures on Earth and off Earth, which is why I introduced Duty's Monsters on Planet Cthulhu, which is a 3-part miniseries. So he goes on different adventures, and so you get to. And what's great about this issue is we're introducing a lot of new characters from his planet, from his home world on Earth. So the plot just gets more and more intense.
Nice. I love this Sergeant Rock.
Well, if everybody knows that was the first comic book I ever picked up on my own as a kid when I went to the candy store on the spinner rack with Sergeant Rock and Duty. And Duty, he has an active imagination. He becomes different characters. He becomes a soldier, a samurai. So I just thought that this variant cover was fitting for it.
Dude, Yeah, I used to pick up the Sergeant Rock figures from Remco, dude. That
Oh,
they were
nice.
5 points of articulation. Yeah, man, they were really cool.
Nice. Yes, I was collecting Sergeant Rock until I started seeing the G.I. Joe comic books, and then I switched over.
That's what we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the Nam books, the Nam comic books?
Yeah, I remember Nam.
I think I still have them.
Yeah, man.
Very nice.
That, you know what? That's what you got to do. You got to do a triple crossover, right? Because you got him as Judge Dredd. You got to do Duty as the Punisher in the Nam book. Remember when the Punisher had the chain on the skull and he was sniping people in Nam? You don't remember that one? No.
It's been a long time since I read them.
I killed the buzz. I'm sorry.
Somebody you, eh? But yeah, so Duty, there's no limits to his cosplay. So he also did Wednesday. So
There you are. Yeah.
Tuesday.
You're a fucking man,
Cool.
Sam. You're the fucking man. So you got to do a TikTok of just those images with the music behind it, bro.
I did. But TikTok limits all of my videos to 275 views. They cap me. Every single one I post, they cap me at 275.
Really?
Yes. It's crazy.
You can't do that as a reel on Instagram?
Instagram is not playing. I used to get thousands of views on my Instagram reels. Now I only get about 150. So both of them have kept it.
Wow.
I don't know if I dated somebody's daughter in high school and they're pissed off at me. I don't know what's going on, but I'm capped on. I get more views on Facebook and on YouTube for my streams.
Did you take out ads on those platforms?
I took out ads on Facebook for my Kickstarters. I don't do them anymore, but yes.
That's what happened to me. Is I took out a couple of really pretty inexpensive ads on Facebook, and my view count literally dropped to 0.
That's what it is. Then
I had 3,000. They kicked me right back down to 300
because they wanted to spend more money.
They kept sending me emails going, "You can up your visibility if you want to pay us."
Yeah.
You guys don't get free discounts with them? I get $5 and $10 discounts from Facebook all the time.
I don't get any discounts, but so
the amount of money is spending.
Yeah, so with this, if you backed any of the first 3 campaigns and you come back and back this one physically, you get a physical copy. You get a free enamel pin of the iconic Duty in the toilet. If you've never backed the series and you come back and you get a physical copy, you get a 8x8 print as my way of saying thank you for coming in and even starting at issue 4, and it ends tomorrow 8 a.m. I have a weekend special. So if you already have an existing physical order, and you come back between today and tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., and add to your basket, doesn't matter what you add to your basket, you'll get a 5x7 original inked drawing from me on this 5x7 card right here. So on one side it's and then the other side's so this is the card. You're going to get this for free if all you have to do is just add to your existing basket. So just go into add-ons and just pick anything and add it in, and you'll get that for free between now and tomorrow morning, 8 a.m.
Nice.
So there's something free for everybody, and we are, I think, $24 away from unlocking the first stretch goal. So,
all right, don't mind me. I'm checking out your room, bro.
That's what you're doing.
Checking out your room. I like it.
Thank you. This is my bat cave.
Gotcha. Oh, see, gotcha.
Yes. Yeah, and the books is done. I mean, the books are done. You can see I have the proofs in my hand. So there's no waiting. Other than the comic, I ordered these proofs December 5th, and I got these 2 days ago. So they're having a little trouble getting things to you on time, but that's why I do it ahead of time. So all I have to do is just say print it, because I have an existing order that they don't print until I say proofs approved. So I'm just waiting for the campaign, and then I just boom. So all I have to do is just run it and ship it. And so I'm excited, and I'm already working on issue 6. So this is issue 4, and I'm already illustrating issue 6.
Nice. Now, do you already have the pins available? Like, do you have them
right here? Bam.
Hold on. Let me pull you up.
Boom.
Nice.
Yes.
Now I know you're offering those as a special, but can someone buy those?
Yes, they're also available as add-ons.
Oh, okay.
So this is actually this is offered for the existing backers who backed the first 3 and came back and got a physical copy of the book. They get this. So it's just that group. New backers will get a 8x8 print of Duty. It's on the Kickstarter as a way of saying thank you for coming in and investing in this project.
Gotcha. Now, are you gonna make that pin available as its own level?
It's a add-on. Yeah, it's a separate add-on.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I mean, if someone just wanted to buy just a pin.
Oh no, it's not a reward tier. It's an add-on.
Oh, okay. It's an add-on. Yeah. You might want to consider that, sir.
Just the pin itself?
Yeah, just the pin itself.
Well, they still got to pay for shipping on the pen, dude.
So
yeah, so get the book. Somebody, I want you to read the book. It's like that's somebody you.
You know what? Back to the small screen with you.
Yeah. The Chotsky stuff is the bonus. I really want you guys to read the book. That's my whole
of course.
Yeah.
But sometimes, some of us just want the tchotchkes. there was another campaign that I backed, right, a while ago. Someone says that the campaign was fulfilled, but it's not.
Yeah, two after that. Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, I
Same
get to
thing
get
here.
those pins.
I backed Wonder Duck. I never got anything.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
You know what hurts though, dude? You know what hurts, man?
What?
When you go to somebody's house, most of the times, you're not even offered like a bottle of water, a bag of chips. Not even offered, to use the bathroom. Nope. It to play with the toys.
You can't touch your toys ever. Toys are not meant to be played with, sir.
To feed the birds. I'm not allowed to feed the birds. Come on, bro.
Bro, you want to stick your finger in that cage? Feel free, bro. You come back with a stump. That's not my fault. That is not my fault if you pull back a stump.
I got to be careful what I say now. The wife is watching the show.
Oh, damn. You messed up, bro. Messed up.
Damn.
You messed up.
Yep. I got to mind my P's and Q's now.
There you go.
Well, it's interesting how that conversation came up because I just did an episode on my art channel about how taking a risk on a non-traditional comic show, and I went to a collector show, and I made all my money back plus profit. Everything that I spent from the hotel to the travel to the table to printing costs, and it was a collector show. It was a toy collector show. So sometimes you have to go outside the norm to find an audience that might not necessarily. They were there to buy toys, and actually I was the only independent comic guy there, and they were like, "Oh, what is this?" So I talked about that on that show because sometimes it could be your local library. Set up a table. I think today because
was that a pop-up event, or was that something that was like
it's in Bucks County, PA. It's called ZoloCon, and I loved it. I had a great time there, and it's in an old NASA test facility, so it's circular. And they had these big screens where they were playing trailers from Godzilla and King Kong, huge giant jumbotrons, and it felt nostalgic, it felt good, and everybody, it was just a great event. And so where you go to these bigger conventions and you just a checkbook for them. We need the money to pay for the celebrities. So and you get lost in the shuffle. So here I felt special, and I wasn't even supposed to be there. You know what I mean? But I took a shot at the dark to do a convention that was outside of my norm, and it paid off. Sometimes it'll pay off.
Yeah.
Nice. What's up, Carlos?
When was this? When did this happen?
I did this before I moved out here. The year.
Okay, I thought you flew back up. Okay.
No. I mean, that's the thing is like, would I take the chance and go and do it and fly out there? I'm not sure just yet because This year, I went back to work. I'm no longer a brokepreneur. So I went back to work. I couldn't, my dream didn't, realize itself in my timeline. So I decided to be a brokepreneur during COVID. Right? Ain't that smart? So, so now I have to try to stay localized. So, and Texas has so many. They have Comic Palooza, they have Fan Expo. There's so many conventions, and they got a lot of small ones. So for me, I'm just looking at here within, if no more than 2 hours drive, I'm good. And there's like 100 of them. So, and because I'm working, I don't want to travel, fly anywhere right now.
Cool.
I think Tom mentioned that in the chat. Sometimes you can make more profit at the small comic shows than you can at the large media shows.
Because your overhead is
next to nothing, and you actually get to talk to people.
I did a free event here in Texas. It was free to the public. I forgot the name of the show. It was free to the public. It was run by the city, right? Of that city, and I did more there than I did at Fan Expo. And it was an amazing. It was all families, and it was a community event, and they, and so I think sometimes it's I think grassroots, getting back to the audience, the base. We got to find where the base is going and try to meet them there.
Yeah, but also your book is a little different. Like your demographic is younger kids, so you need to be in a place where there are a lot of families.
But no, I mean, the 80% of the people that read my book are adults. What happens is they buy it for themselves, they laugh, then they say, you know what? Look at all this educational stuff at the end of the book. I'm going to give it to my kid, and so then they get an extra copy. But most of my diehard followers are adults.
Okay. Fair enough. Cool. Now listen, guys, I got another question. I'm gonna dial it back. So we're gonna take the less serious road. We spent an hour and 15 minutes like just beating up.
I'm sorry. My fault.
No, it's not. No. We listen, those subjects need to be beaten the fuck up. So that's the way that needs to go. But I'm wondering, what is everyone looking forward to this year that we all know there's a comic, a movie, a role-playing game, a video game. There's something coming out that we're looking forward to. And I'm curious, what is it you guys are looking forward to? All right, Randy.
Well, you got me thinking. There's a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to seeing, but not to enjoy them. And that sounds cruel, and that's the way it is. But yeah, the Ant-Man I'm looking forward to. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to Daredevil, but I think that's coming out in 2024 at this point, or at the very end of 2023. That looks really good. Looks like it'll be a lot of fun. I'm just interested in general to see how this market's going to go, and comics as an art form, because we're at, like we said already, and sorry to beat the horse you're trying to get away from, but we're in such a flux state right now that it's really fascinating to sit and watch. So,
all right, cool.
As far as outside entertainment goes, I can't wait for the second season of Strange New Worlds, Star Trek. With Pike, that ran really well. There's a bunch of a little series I can't wait to sit and watch. So, it's streaming wise, but. Other than that, there's nothing specifically that I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be,
the thing. Got you.
The thing. Yeah.
Sam,
I would have to say, Transformers: Power is Primal. Beast Wars.
That really looked good. Yeah,
that looks fantastic.
Yeah,
like that one has me. That and John Wick. I mean, I got it's like
that's in a few weeks. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. So I mean, those are the, and then Equalizer. There's another Equalizer coming up. So it's like those are like my go-to that for this year. That's it. I think for me, those are the ones that I'm looking for.
Okay.
Mr. Rosario, what do you got?
Okay, I got two things. One is going to sound like a corny, cheesy thing, but it is super fucking legitimate.
We all have our guilty pleasures.
You are opening your mouth.
I am. But you know what, dude? I know. I'm good. Now, after all the bravado from the entire stream, I'm going to come out with something a little sentimental. Celebrating my first year anniversary in a few weeks.
Oh,
Okay.
nice! Congratulations.
That explains all the sentimental mushy posts that he's been making.
Yeah, brother,
Yeah,
you see
this
that
is true.
You see that? Yes. But I'm also trying to put something cute and positive out there. There's too much like garbage on there, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I don't want to
I agree.
contribute. So try to add a little positivity and some laughter. But yeah, I'm celebrating my first year anniversary, and we're going away, and I can't wait. And I got lucky. I got lucky. Right now, the other thing is going to be a bit of a stretch because it's not announced, but it is a big, hopeful piece. I'm a big toy collector. I'm a big cartoon guy. I'm an 80s kid. All right.
Mhm.
One of my favorite cartoons that came out in the 80s was called Dungeons and Dragons. It had
Nice.
nothing to do with the Gygax game other than the name, right? So Hasbro has the line, and they're doing the figures based on the
Oh,
cartoon.
yeah.
They're also
Mhm.
doing figures based on the movie, which is cool because they're actually doing the gelatinous cube. So it's just a big fucking
Mhm.
clear box with a whole bunch of weapons in it. So I think it's
Yeah.
stupid, it's cheap, it's cheesy, but I want it. But but they're doing figures based on the cartoon, and
Nice.
that never came out. If anybody who's a toy collector, the toys that were coming out were based on the book. Excuse me, on the role playing game. And now they're
So
doing the figures, and
do you have Warduke?
it's on pre-order.
Uh,
Man, is the wife not watching? Okay. But she put Warduke. Did Warduke show up in the cartoon or not? I think Warduke showed up briefly. As a
briefly,
cameo,
yeah.
right? But all right, so Hasbro does their own crowdfunding. I know it's cheap, right? But that's this guy here, right? That's Galactus. That's the crown piece for anybody who collects Marvel Legends. Okay. Oh shit, she's still here. God damn it. So see what I said, something nice, right? Before this. So the big bad of the cartoon, right? Their Galactus was Tiamat, the big 7-headed Hydra.
Later.
We'll talk later. Oh shit, that's my ass. Oh, I'm sleeping on the couch tonight, boys. So their big bad, right? Their Galactus in the cartoon was Tiamat, the 7-headed Hydra.
Mhm.
And every figure in the cartoon is being released, with the exception of that Tiamat. And I'm really hoping that Tiamat gets announced as a HasLab, because I'm all over that motherfucker if it is.
Nice.
Yeah,
Carlos
dude.
says, I just had my first action figure prototype made, the Night Demon. Looks marvelous, standing
Nice.
on my work desk. Nice.
Cool.
William Sang says,
Yeah, William. Yeah, brother. Yeah.
Mhm.
William, I hope you answered my email, William. I need to know your t-shirt size before I can send out your stuff. But other than that, going with Carlos. Carlos, we're ready to pull the trigger on my figure too. Hopefully China doesn't invade Taiwan. They get over New Year in by February, and they don't shut down with another pandemic, because I'm ready to pull the fucking dude. All of our stuff is ready. All we got to do is pull the trigger, and before I can launch the Kickstarter for it, I want to have the actual the final cut piece in hand. Oh, you already answered the email. All right, cool, William. I'll look for it. So yeah, dude, that's where I'm at. And I got a heavy slate coming up this year. I got 6 releases, book wise, and I know. But Randy, 4.5 of those books are done.
Yeah.
So I'm psyched because being ahead of the game is half of the fucking puzzle. Like Sam was saying, he started on 6. He's doing 4 right now. Anybody who runs a crowdfunder, man, you cannot be working on the book while the book is in the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
mean,
I know.
You're gonna drive yourself bananas, folks.
Yep.
It's
Remember
awesome.
Bananas in Pajamas?
No,
yeah.
what's that?
You remember that? The Bananas in Pajamas? Bananas in Pajamas are coming down the stairs. Bananas and pajamas are coming down the pit. You remember that? It was huge.
Yeah.
Was that like shirt tails? What the hell was that? Was that a cartoon?
No, it was teddy bears. They were bananas and pajamas, and you can buy the pajamas and the footsies and all that stuff, and
Like Cabbage Patch?
yeah. Well, no, they were it was different, a little different.
But around that time?
No, it was in the late 90s, about 99, 2000.
No.
Yeah.
And scary, you're saying it like that. I'm thinking that was yesterday. That's fucking over 20.
It's over 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hot minute ago.
5 years ago. No, it wasn't. 99? 24 years ago.
Well,
buddy.
24 years
Get
ago.
that
Yeah,
shit
okay.
together. Don't be adding extra fucking years onto my ass.
Hey, listen, your ass already has enough years on it.
I know. I'm playing the back nine of my 40s right now, bro. I'm fucking
Let me tell you, brother, don't worry about it. You're going to hit the club real soon.
shit. I hit the bathroom all the
Yeah,
time.
when your leg fall asleep for no reason at all, you know you got problems.
Bro,
Those are real problems.
listen, what nobody, this is what they should fucking tell you in health ed class. Okay. When you hit 40, do not trust a fart anymore because the odds are not in your favor. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I mean, I'm scared. You know? I see all those reels, right? And TikTok of guys messing with their wives or their girls in bed, and they do something to them so they get them back, by farting in bed. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. I can't trust that. With my luck, I fuck up the sheets.
Awesome. Wow. Okay, so let's take it back. So I'm looking forward to John Wick. Thank you.
Yes.
John Wick, season 2 of Jack Reacher, and I think is it?
Oh
season
yeah, Jack Reacher
Yeah, there
season.
you
When's that start? Is that
nice.
supposed to start now? Wasn't Jack Reacher supposed to start already?
I don't know.
Anytime
No,
now.
they're still
I
filming
know
it.
it's soon. I know it's
Yes,
soon.
soon.
Yeah,
Either
anytime
they're
now.
still filming it or they finished filming it. Because I
They
saw
probably
a
finished by
shot
now.
of it.
Yeah, they probably finished filming it, but who knows? I mean, I haven't seen an announcement yet. And is it season 3 or 4 of The Boys? Whatever the next season is, it's
4.
coming. Yeah,
4
Yeah.
at least. Yeah.
season 4 of The Boys. Whatever the next season is of The Boys, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
Remember-
Randy! I know you're a Western fan, right?
Kind of. Yeah.
Did you watch the English on Amazon?
No.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
I
First of all,
haven't watched a good streaming Western since 1883.
oh my god, dude!
What's he talking about?
1883 is a Yellowstone prequel.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't got
I was
Paramount
like-
Plus.
That
so
was
I don't
harsh.
have that.
That was harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have.
But just
I'm waiting until 1923 gets done before I sit down and watch that. That's
Okay.
Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford.
Yeah, but if anybody gets a chance, watch English. I can't talk enough about it. I didn't want to see it, and whatever. I got locked in on the first episode.
Is that on
6
Prime?
episodes. Yeah,
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
They it's one of those things where in episode 5 of 6, you're like, there's no way they're gonna wrap all of this up.
And they do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. With
Yeah.
giving everything its proper due in the 6th episode, and you're like, oh my god.
I just finished off Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone.
Was that good?
9 episodes, right? 8 episodes are phenomenal. Just sitting there, the characterization's great. It's the same guy who does Yellowstone. You know, it's like mafia, Sons of Anarchy combination.
It's
Great stuff.
it's my blue heaven in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Last episode's 38 minutes long, and it's like, okay, we ain't got budget for this. And then they just pull a cord on a couple of scenes and do a couple of speeches and done. And I'm sitting there watching this thing going, oh, great. You had all of this great buildup to just on the 9th episode. 38 minutes long.
My boy
and it
Richie
should have
Coster's
been an
in
hour
that
to an
show.
hour and a half. Pardon?
My boy Richie Coster's in that show.
I'm not familiar with him.
I haven't seen the series because
Okay.
it's on Paramount. But do you remember the Dark Knight? The Nolan Dark Knight flick?
That was a while ago.
The guy who had the Rottweilers, who had his money burnt by Heath Ledger.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in this.
I'd have to go back and look at it, but yeah.
I don't know if he's a British guy or what. Maybe he's playing a mobster.
Probably a
bald
mobster.
Head, mustache, goatee, glasses. That he was on The Walking Dead recently. He played Pope.
You don't have a picture of him available? I mean, he's your boy. You should just have a picture of him.
I got maybe a season past the torture porn, and I dropped Walking Dead.
Oh, gotcha.
Last couple of seasons I haven't seen. So
yeah. All right. So
I need to go back. I need to go back and catch. We dropped AMC. I need to go back and catch up on it.
So. You're done dropping names there, Jay?
Yeah, well, he's a homie, dude. He's a good dude, bro.
No, I'm sure he is. I'm just saying, though. You're trying to tell us who he is. We don't know who he is.
All right. Well, I'm fucking looking it
up.
up.
I was really loving the series until right at the end. It's like, why did you do this for? Just, I had to go back. I thought maybe I fell asleep in the middle of the episode and missed like half of the setup because the scenes got so jerky at the end. It's weird.
So, Jay, do you have a question to close out the show with?
I thought we were bullshitting.
Good job, Jay. Good job, as usual. I
thought we were hanging by this time. This is the good part, dude. Come on.
All right, here I got a question for you guys. So, have you guys heard this whole nonsense that's been going on with Wizards of the Coast and them pulling back on their OGL?
I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Right, like they just recently announced this whole thing. They had an open source contract where creators could go in and work, I guess, in the sphere of Dungeons and Dragons as long as they stayed within that contract. They said the contract was short. It was supposed to be irrevocable or, supposed to be perpetual or whatever. And then they came out and they said, screw you. We got a new contract. And, if you make more than X amount of money, you have to give us 25% of your cut. And they put all these limitations. And the big one was that you will give them exclusive rights to whatever you create for them to use however they want. Right? So here's a question for you guys. Would you guys be open to working in an open source universe, right? That you would have to put in at least one character, one hero, one villain, and one one setting, right? So imagine you would create Batman, the Joker, and Gotham, right? And you would put that in that universe. Anyone could use it, right? But you could use anything anybody else uses in that same universe. Would you guys be open to that?
Yeah. Whatever. I'm not making big bucks on my shit anyways. Might as well.
But what if somebody turned around and made like 30 made a ton of money on your shit? They said, and they just did your shit better than you.
Oh, good.
That would be the thing for me. I'd have to know how much money was involved.
Well, see, that's just it though. Everybody, see, it's open source.
Yeah.
So whatever money you make on it, that's fine. But whatever money they make on it has nothing to do with you. Like they could say, all right, well, I got 10 different people put out all these 10. I'm going to make a super group out of those 10 characters and put them in and use them. And that person makes, for whatever reason, they make X amount. They make tons of cash, but that has nothing to do with you.
So it's public domain within the auspices of their.
Right. It's an open source.
Yeah.
So it's an open source. Yeah.
I don't care.
I guess I'd have to look at the specifics of it because there's a lot of the stuff that I've done and created, for specific reasons. And
right.
A lot of that, to create something intentionally to make it open source and wide open, I'd have to really think about. But I would probably have a couple of characters I could do that with if somebody were to start something up like that. But I don't know how much usage I would, take out of the universe personally.
Right.
I gotta break out, guys. I gotta go have some dinner. I gotta get up at 5 a.m. for work, but it was fun. Congratulations on your anniversary, Jay.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. Appreciate
nice to see you again, Randy.
Good seeing you,
all
Sam.
Right.
Yes, and I think you need to change from that lime green wall and add some different color palette to your background.
Why? This is the same color as your character. this is the same color as your character. What's wrong with this? This is the color of money, sir.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
He's trying to replace what he doesn't have. That's
There you go.
This is fucking
Yes.
true. This
Yeah,
is the
yes.
truth. You know, it's trying to wish it into the universe. Sam, let everybody know where they can find you and your work, sir.
Catch the Craze podcast anywhere on social media. Just Catch the Craze with a DA, not a THE. Check out my art channel, Art of Samuel, on YouTube. Every Sunday is a new episode. This one, the newest one, was about taking a risk and doing something out of the box, which was ZoloCon. So check that video out. And tomorrow morning, don't forget to check out the Craze in 10 or Less. And the topic is, breaking it. How do you get your book published in 2023? Oh, the game has changed, right? So that's a good topic. So check that out tomorrow morning. But yeah, you can find me anywhere on social media. And if you haven't done so already, check out There's Anything in My Toilet on Kickstarter right now. Yo, stop being, you're not too cool to laugh, man. I mean, laughing is cool. So stop faking the funk. Stop pretending. You can put the titty books down, get yourself a nice comedy book, and have fun. All right. If you like Alf, you like Invader Zim, Marvin the Martian, Mork and Mindy, you're going to love this. Check it out. Give it a shout.
Cool.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, cool. And
Thanks.
the link is in the show notes. So you go check it out.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
All right. Oh, so this is the guy you were talking about.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh, he doesn't look familiar at all. Does he have an accent?
Well, he's British, but he plays everything.
He might have been in a couple of episodes, but I don't recognize him as a main player unless he's really changed the way he looks.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Listen, I mean, how long have you known him, Jay? Where'd you meet him?
In Manhattan. I've known him 10 years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look up the who he's playing on IMDb. Here, I can get it. What was his name again?
Richie Coster.
Coster or Coaster?
Coster.
Oh, it is Coster. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Good dude.
Jay, did you get your books?
Yes.
Okay, that doesn't sound great.
Yes, because
boy.
They fucked up and they lost another order, so they're redoing it and send it out. This week.
Who lost it? UPS?
No, the
No?
printer. Trying not to dump on them. So
okay, no, I got you.
And it's the most expensive books. So
Yeah, they have him listed as Colin Waltrip in 7 episodes. I still don't recognize him. So they must have him made over somehow.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't have Paramount, so I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not watching it. But yeah, so I fulfilled. Excuse me. I packed everything right now.
Mhm.
I just got to label it. I'm gonna label them all tomorrow. Ship them out on Tuesday, and the only thing that I'm waiting for are the spot foil books.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I got everything else here ready to go, man.
Mhm.
So that kind of pissed me off, bro, because I mean,
Yeah,
fuck,
I know.
the most expensive books are the ones that they screwed up on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sucks.
Ow.
Well, I got my book, and they're all packed up, and they will ship out on Tuesday.
I saw that on Facebook. Yeah,
I did too.
You had to take them tomorrow, but
Well, tomorrow's a holiday, so
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. You're not working.
They're coming to pick them up.
We haven't decided yet because if we set it to pick up, they probably won't pick up till Thursday.
Okay.
But I'm off on Tuesday, so we're probably just gonna walk them all over there. So
Where, to the post office or the UPS?
Get a big cart. Yeah.
No, the post office. They're not far from here.
Okay.
Wheel them right over.
Yeah.
What did you use to do your labels?
I think Daphne used Pirate Ship.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're gonna use, because if you're shipping a lot of internationals, I would suggest them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm doing with stamps, and I am because they do the drop shipping. And
Well,
I mean, for me, last time sending to the UK was the same price as sending to Japan. It was like $22, something like that.
Wow. Yeah.
okay. You might
That
want to
was
look
a-
at Pirate. You might want to look at Pirate Ship. Their international rates are actually very, very, very good.
And then Stamps has that 72% discount with the UPS store.
Right.
So anything that is not first class for me, which is 15 ounces and under. So I've got a lot of 7-ounce books. I got a lot of 14-ounce books. Packages. So those will all go first class. No need to send first class media mail when it's only a 20% difference.
Yeah.
Might as well just send it first class, because for those of you who are printing up comic books, you try to slide a trading card in there, or if you have ads in there, it is no longer media mail. This is coming from somebody who works at the post office for the day job. All right. So you may slide some things by, but if you do it and you do it repeatedly, they'll come for you.
They'll remember you.
Yeah. So this is not me trying to threaten. This is me telling you how the sausage is made. So just do first class if it's under 15 ounces, and then anything over 15 ounces, because Stamps has that 72% discount with UPS store, stamps.com. I'll be sending it through the UPS store.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. Sounds good, gentlemen. We've hit the top of the hour, so please, Rank, where can they find you and your work, sir?
You can find my stuff over at aerocomics.store. And we're just fulfilling the Rift Riders campaign, which will be done in February. I took advantage of a Black Friday sale over at Comic Wellspring, and got extra copies of Calico, extra copies of Paragon done, and HeroBot 02.
Oh, nice.
It's done, all available at the aerocomics.store location. There's a lot more coming. Aero Comics is going to be growing by leaps and bounds. And this year we've got a lot of stuff planned, unbelievable quality stuff that we'll be announcing as soon as everything gets underway. We've picked up Soul Tech, which is a great pulpy space opera, space cowboy type book that will be coming out in floppy editions as soon as that crowdfunder is fulfilled with some new material in the back. There's a lot more coming out of Aero Comics, and Luke's doing hybrids and Rift Riders, and he's got Chrome Dog with Justin Sweet that'll be coming out this year. There's a lot of stuff coming out through Aero Comics. We're looking at doing Anniverse Omnibus that might be out by the end of the year, hopefully, fingers crossed. Nice. Another HeroBot Calico is back in production. Calico 2 will be colored and lettered and offered shortly. Keep watching the crowdfunding tiers. Probably at fundmycomic.com we'll be doing another Arrow tier here coming up real soon with more books all together. The Rift Riders campaign was really successful for us. We did a Arrow Comics tier there where we were offering Calico and HeroBot 1 and Only Death Can Save Us 1, Revolt 1, Hybrids 1, and Sin Killer 1 from Marvy. I think there were 8. Rift Riders 1 was part of that as well. A great collection of Arrow Comics for like $50 plus shipping. That to give people an idea of the quality that Arrow Comics has done and will be doing in the future. Other than that, we've got a lot of other projects planned. Like I said, there's a lot of other stuff coming for me down the pike. I've got a couple of books being colored right now that I'm looking forward to seeing. We've got anyway, just watch aerocomics.store. There's a few PDF files over there. I've got a couple of issues of the old Spank the Monkey book that I went through and colored digitally. That's available over there, only over there in PDF format. And there'll be a lot more stuff coming as we go along.
All right. Cool.
So other than that, Indy Comics Network, I do Friday morning at 5 a.m. I do a show called Comics by Night that we do kind of a comics kayfabe thing where we pull up a book. Glenn Fleming is usually there. Russ Leach is usually there. Brian K. Morris and Scott Rosemar are there sometimes. And we look over some great old sequential artwork and talk about it, break it down, and take a hard look at it. We've gone through a artisan book of Jim Steranko's Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. We did 3 episodes on a couple of volumes of John Byrne's Elsewhen material. That's really interesting to look at. Just beautiful.
That's the one you do at 5 in the morning?
Yeah, that's what we do at 5 in the morning.
Yeah. I've caught that one live a few times.
Yeah, we're archived over on the Indy Comics Network as well. So you can see all that stuff there. I recommend, taking a little time and watching it. And it's been a lot of fun. And then Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. we do the Sunday Funnies, where we talk about the stuff that we love and the stuff that inspires us to keep doing comics. And that we just this morning did a episode on old cartoons. So we pulled up some old moldy 60s, 70s cartoons, the Thundar, Space Angel, the opening for Iron Man and Super Chicken. We watched an episode of Mighty Heroes. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
You warmed my heart there.
Yeah. Yeah. The good old stuff. That's what we like talking about. It's the stuff that inspires, the positive stuff that puts that, the spark in our bones and makes us want to do more sequential artwork. So other than that, I'm working on other stuff that'll be coming out. The COVID book's still being worked on. And then as soon as that's done, it's Spank the Monkey on the comic market. So we'll get that comic book history book out there.
Nice.
Cool.
The wife wants me to do at least 2 more Spank books after Spank the Monkey books, I should say. Not just Spank books. That's got a whole different connotation. Spank the Monkey books after that I'm looking forward to doing as well, plus the Anniversary book, plus a lot of other things. I got a bucket list. So I ain't dead yet. I got shit to do. Baby. So we got a shirt over there, by the way, at aerocomics.store that says "Death Can Wait. I'm making comics."
There you go.
So
that's it. Mr. J, where can they find you and your work, sir?
Unstoppablecomics.com. All roads lead to and from unstoppablecomics.com. You can find all the social media there. And mid-February, second half of February, we are going to be launching our newest book, our 8th title, I think, called Limbo, Open Almost All Eternity. And
what's the name of that book?
Limbo, Open Almost All Eternity.
Do I have to send you what is it, a DNR or something, man? Because I already got one of those.
You do?
Yeah, it's launching next week. I'm only joking, bro. Go ahead.
You son of a bitch.
I was gonna say Limbo. That's a space of a fairer character who likes to dance below things, right?
That's what we got the subtitle on it. That's, you know what I mean, to differentiate it from all the other bastards. It's the first book that I'm publishing that is not by me. We got a team of artists that are looking to get a foothold here in the States, and we're going to be doing their book. So it is about the Lucifer vacating his seat and leaving a former priest in charge, and things going awry, and a battle raging for the throne. It's a 3-part miniseries. So those will be 3 of the books that are coming out over the course of the year. And Shield of the Interceptor is coming back after 2 years. I'm excited for that. And New York versus the World is going to be wrapping up by the end of the year. So
who's coming back after 2 years?
Shield of the Interceptor.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Yeah. So we're starting a second miniseries.
Great.
For it. So that means in 2024, I've got 2 trades already lined up.
All right, nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna have the Limbo Almost All Eternity trade in 2024, and then we're gonna have New York versus the World, which is a black and white book, and it will be fully colored for the trade.
All right, cool. For. I am shipping out. Woof! Like I said, this bad boy this week, and then next weekend on the 22nd, new lunar year or Chinese New Year to many. Year of the Rabbit, hopefully much more forgiving than this last year we just went through. I'll be launching the latest Oswald campaign, so it'll be On the Wings of Deidre, issues 1 through 3.
Nice.
And that should be interesting. So we'll see how that goes. All right, and we will be doing, and Jay, just so you get ready, we'll be doing the launch party on the next show. So
Give you something to prepare for.
You're inviting me to the
An
next show?
excuse to make. I don't know. What?
Yeah, I invite you to all the show.
I'll be here. On the next one, I won't. The one after that, I won't be here.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why? What are you doing?
The weekend of the 4th? Oh, my God. The 2 after that, I won't be here.
Oh, okay. What are you doing? You got shows?
No. Well, one, going away for the anniversary.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then the weekend of the 12th is Super Bowl, baby.
Oh, dude. Come on. That doesn't mean anything. It's Super Bowl of comics? Come on. What the fuck, bro? Comics.
Oh, that's a money-making weekend for me, baby.
You going to bet?
I can't say anything online.
No,
dude.
he's not gonna. He's not gonna
well,
bet.
no, there's legalized betting now in New York. You can bet online now.
There's betting legally, and there's keeping stuff under the carpet so your wife doesn't know about it, son.
Oh, she's still watching.
She's still listening.
She's still listening, bro.
Trying to get my ass kicked here, bro. Wait, come on. Don't you like me, dude?
All right, all right. I was figuring. All right, okay. Well, you never know. You might win. You know.
All right. So yes.
All right.
So that's my plan. All right.
All right. Cool. So anyway, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, DeviantArt, all under JD Calderon. And next week we'll be here and we will be talking more stuff. We'll be talking about comics. I'll have the launch party.
Launching your book, baby. Yeah.
The Oswald Chronicles on the Wings of Deidre, where a young lady finds Oswald. She's being chased by monsters, goblins, demons, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So we'll go from there, right? So thank you so much, everybody. And thank you for everybody who showed up, and thank you to everybody who didn't show up. Because there's a couple of people who didn't show up. But anyway, that's all right.
It's not the way it works. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. Everybody
it does.
Some people got sick. Some people got called in for work. It is what it is. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you so much, guys. Have a good night, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Good night.
Take care, everybody.
Happy escape from Liberty 1 year anniversary.